This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 1150 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you, one day at a time. Greetings, horse people. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip features horsemanship radio show host Debbie Laux, who is joined by Dr. Sherry Gaber with a tip on recognizing pain in your horse, symmetry, and yoga for your horse. And we'll get right to today's tip after this important shopping tip from EquestrianCollections.com. Well, hi, everybody. Coach Jen here from Horse Radio Network, and I'm with Debbie from EquestrianCollections.com. And once again, she's got our product of the week from EquestrianCollection.com. What have you got for us, Debbie?
Well, hi, Jen. First, I want to shout out to some of our fans out there who mention on their emails to Equestrian Collections that they they listen to the radio show and that they enjoy it. So keep those comments coming, and any suggestions, let me know. This week, I want to feature the Noble Outfitters Wound Care Large Animal Spray. This stuff works. It is so good, and we have it in 8-ounce and 5-ounce sizes. It's very safe. I mean, when we first had a rep come by, she puts it on her apples because she's allergic to stuff that they put on the apples in the store. It's food grade. It's safe for eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. And it doesn't, like in the winter, some of the similar items can't deal with the cold weather. This is fine in cold weather. And I'm telling you, it works. You know, I do a lot of trail riding, and my horse gets ticks, and I take them off every time. But sometimes they leave a little bite mark, and I have used this thing, and I'm telling you, overnight, one day he put a little boo-boo on his head at the hay bunk, at the round bale bunk, put this stuff on. By the next day, it was almost healed. I'm telling you, this stuff is great. I certainly recommend trying the Noble Outfitters Wound Care Large Animal Spray. Keep it around your farm. Use it on those little cuts and abrasions that come up, you know, when they hit themselves boo-boo and stuff like that. Excellent stuff. Give it a try.
There you go. Recommended from Debbie, who has lots of horses who are just as good at getting boo-boos as yours are. The Noble Outfitters Wound Care small and large animal. They have it in the foam and the spray at EquestrianCollections.com.
Welcome back, Dr. Sherry Gaber. I have been so excited to have you back on because you have such great stories about all these different animals. We deal with horses here, and I love that. But how often do we get to talk about bears and hawks and owls? And how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great, thank you. I love your energy, and I so appreciate what you're up to and sharing all this great information with your audience.
Oh, you're sweet. Well, that's why we have you on, because we love your energy too, and we love what you're doing for animals. And we wanted to have you back for our segment on trainers tips, and I know that you have some valuable information for us. So let's get to it. What do you have for us today?
Well, you know, most people don't look at the whole perspective of the animal, and I always want people to be safe. And if an animal is hurting, it's good to know. So it's good to look at the animal. If they are hurting, they're not going to use one of their limbs or a couple limbs. So you want to look at, if an animal's hurting, they're not going to use it, so it's called, then you lose it. So you want to look for symmetry, which means balance. Okay. I start at the butt, and I move the tail, and I tell the horse I'm there. I put my hand on the upper part of the tail, then bring my hand down a couple inches, and just move the tail over, you know, to the other side of the outside of the leg. And you want to look at the buttocks and the width of the thighs. Okay. And you want to see what's balanced, or if one is smaller, one is larger. Then you look at
atrophy. Is it a little atrophy of the muscle then? Shrink.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if they're out of alignment, then one hip is locked, then that muscle is not going to be used well.
Okay.
So then it gets smaller. So then you know that hip isn't working well. It could be sore, going up or down hills. Then you're aware. The other thing you can do then is butt scratches and belly scratches before you ride. So when you're looking at something that's sore, if you do the scratches, then you can see how easily the horse will kind of like, I call it a yoga stretch, stretch up. So you put your hands on both sides of the tail and you scratch with your hands, or you go underneath the belly and you always stay on the sternum. You never go past the rib cage, and you do a scratch there, and so they could do that yoga stretch. And if it's difficult for them to stretch, then I would say either get some good chiropractic care, some good muscle work, and just know that they're sore. So then that way you're safer and they're safer.
That's good. Yeah, that's a great tip. Thank you. I think a lot of people that have been around horses long enough have seen people doing that. They might have asked themselves, wonder what they're doing. I think that's a great thing to explore. Thanks for that.
And then I've got a bonus tip.
Oh, wonderful.
So what you can also do to see if an animal's been using their body symmetrically or in balance is go on a mounting block like a couple feet away from the back end, and then look down from the top end, from the buttocks to the shoulders, and sometimes you have to move the mane away from one of the shoulders, and see if you see symmetry or asymmetry, which is, not balanced. So if one is atrophied, one side isn't atrophied, you look at the balance from the horse from that angle. So that'll also tell you if your horse is balanced or sore.
Okay. Is it always that case, Sherry? Is it something that we're doing in training maybe that makes one side more built than the other, or is it almost always something that's causing pain in the horse?
That's a really great question. All I would say is, I hate to say this, most animals, just because they are who they are, and sometimes they're hard on each other, and sometimes there's traumas, most animals have a misalignment. So all I can say to that is, from a chiropractic perspective, that it could be because of a misalignment.
Yeah, and that's worth checking. Yeah.
And all I know is from good trainers is if you're going to do something for one side of the horse, you have to reverse it.
That's excellent. That's absolutely true. And a lot of people don't recognize that. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah. Thanks for this week's trainer's tip. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Debbie.
Well, there you have it. You can find links to today's guests as well as lots more tips at horsetipdaily.com. You can have all of your favorite Horse Radio Network shows with you wherever you go with the free, yes, that's free, Horse Radio Network app for your iPhone or Android. Just go to your app store and search Horse Radio Network. And of course, you can subscribe via iTunes. This podcast was made possible through the generous support of EquestrianCollections.com and listeners like you. Learn how you can help support Horse Radio Network programming and qualify for auditors-only perks by going to horsetipdaily.com and clicking on the Become an Auditor banner in the center of the page. This is Coach Jen, and I'll be back soon with another tip. So until then, go ride your horse. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.